Hi everybody, my name is Brian Potter. I'm the marketing guy here for Titan Protection in the Kansas City, Missouri area. And I just wanted to share something I've been working on with you. It's a way to receive forms from leads on your HubSpot website. We're using HubSpot for our website. And then send that over to Zapier and then have it decide if it's a sales lead. Sometimes we get employment leads, people saying, hey, I'm going to search for a thing and click on a PPC ad that we're paying for and ask for a job, or if it's a real person who wants a quote. And then the Zap will also use ChatGPT to write a highly personalized email based on the information you provide it. Send that information back to HubSpot and then put that into an email template that can be used in your automation. So let me go ahead and get started. This is one of our landing pages that we have. I want to show you the kind of information that we can collect from leads on this form. Obviously, first name, last name, email, phone number. We also try to collect the company name, where they are in the world, their city and state, and then how we can help them. Sometimes they don't fill this out. So what I did is I created a follow-up thank you page that was sort of like, hey, maybe you can help us out so we can help you out. We asked them what their top 3 security concerns are. What is a time frame to deploy a security solution? And then, are you available for a call right now? We have a business development team. So if they say yes, we jump on the call and we get back to them right away. But this is the information that we collect in addition to, analytics like maybe the PPC term that they search for and some other information that comes through on the UTM codes in addition to the page that they visited. So how does that translate? Well, that goes into a record. This is just an example record here. Maybe this is the message that they say, I need a protection for my construction site. I want information about your trailers and how much they cost. This is a very typical message that comes through. And it'll have their name and all that other information. So basically, this is just a contact record that's created. So what I did is created a workflow in HubSpot, and this is just using my test email, so I'm not doing this with anybody who's coming through right now. It sends a webhook to Zapier, which I should probably redact that, so I'll do that. And then it delays for a minute so that it gives it time to do that, and then it will send an email. And this just example is adding it to a list. We have a whole workflow for segmenting, contacts and all this different stuff. This was just a test one. So what does that look like? Well, this is a Zap that I created. So it just catches a hook, which is a pretty typical Zapier thing that you can do here. I'm not doing anything special with this. It's just, here is the record that came through. Then I'm using something called classify text with ChatGPT, and I'll zoom in here a little bit. This is a really interesting action that GPT can do. What I told it is take the message that the person sent, and this will be as simple as someone will just put job in the message, or maybe it's a vendor like, hey, I want to sell you some software or something like that. Or it might just be want pricing or want a quote. I tried 10 or 15 different variations of this. And what you do is you give GPT some categories like request a quote, employment or job inquiry, or just job inquiry. So I broke those out just to make sure they were doubly covered. I'm going to make one. In fact, I'll just want vendor wanting to sell us something. And GPT will understand what that means, actually. I've got this actually set to GPT 3.5 Turbo, so it's very cost effective, although now I think about it, they are discontinuing that model. I just got an email, so I'll do GPT 4. So this is I need protection, see how much they cost. So if I do a test, the output will then be, so the category will then be request a quote. So it works, and that's good. So what I do for this is then I filter it. So I go into Zapier and I say, hey, if the category is request a quote, then go ahead and continue. And if not, don't do anything. What I'm going to do is adjust this filter so that if it's anything else, like if it's an employment inquiry, we have a lifecycle stage called employment inquiry. So it'll just update that. That'll go back to the, and update the HubSpot record. You're not looking at me, I realized. There we go. That'll go back to the HubSpot record, and then we have a whole other workflow. So it'll just kick it out of the incoming lead distribution workflow that we have and go to this other one that sends it off to the jobs team and removes it as a marketing contact and does a bunch of cool stuff to help us out. So I'll go ahead and update that another time. But this would continue. So this is where the magic happens, and I'll show you the prompt. I don't care. So it's just GPT connected to my GPT account, and the action is write an email. They have a bunch of stuff, but this one is write an email. So who is it going to? It's going to me. It doesn't really matter. I'm not using this to send it, so I don't give it the email. The from name is just helps to know who I am. And so I gave it a prompt that I actually built a couple of different prompts, and I had GPT and Claude and pass it around to kind of improve it. I'll scroll through it so you can pause if you want to, but so yeah, it has a whole prompt about what to do. And this is kind of also where the magic happens. So this is very important, and I really want to point this out. Under the configuration, the output is HTML. And it's important. I had to tell it to add extra line breaks between paragraphs. And I'll show you why that matters later, giving it an example output, putting 2 break tags here. So this is really critical to make this work, or it was for me. So this is important. So I also told to get rid of body and HTML tags because it wrote it as an entire HTML properly formatted document. So again, I'll scroll through here so you can pause it here and then pause it here. So I fitted stuff: the first name, last name, the company, city, state, what was the message. And then I just did this as an initial test. I'm going to feed it the other thing. What are your top security concerns and things of that nature? And sometimes people provide really interesting information. I just select the tone as casual. And I'll probably improve this prompt and all that stuff. So I'm using GPT 4.0, the latest version. Temperature is 0.7. So it's not, I had to lower it because it started to put information like, if they asked for a security site, it'd be like, we provide that and we do all this other stuff. And it's like, no, you don't know that about us. So I lowered the temperature a bit. I might even look into using an assistant or something and feed it some vector store information about our products and services and just populate it with our company data. But for now, this has been very reliable and it worked very well. So I just want to make a note about that. So after you do that, the input data is given to it. UTM terms. I can include other things like the source that it came from. And this is the input, and the output looks like, this is rhyming. Let me retest this. I did this because I was updating the fields. I want to make sure it was actually creating new content. All right. Thanks for reaching out to Site Protection. We're thrilled to hear about your interest in our security services, especially for your construction site. They're designed to meet unique challenges for construction and security. So it did that specifically. I am going to adjust this prompt to have it include the city that they're in if they include that, so it's even more hyper-personalized. I was going to go through as a next step on sort of version 1.2, I guess, and include company information if HubSpot pulls that down. But for now, this works very well. The next step is it updates the contact, which is a pretty straightforward thing. It goes into this AI-generated email. You can ignore this. This was a test that I was doing. You can see it has the HTML tags. I grabbed it from the object ID from the previous step of when it pulled it in from the webhook. There might be a more efficient way. I fed the webhook everything. If I were to do this again, I would adjust this webhook to not feed it everything. So it pushes it back to HubSpot. And then I just have a very basic email right now that just puts in a personalization token of AI-generated email. I do want to point out this AI-generated email field. This is a rich text field. It needs to be rich text. If you do plain text, it will output the BR tags. This was my testing here. This is what I was going back and forth on. For a long time, it was clumping all of this into one, you can't see me. It was clumping all of this into one big blob of text. And I found out that I had to make the field type rich text, and I had to include BR tags in order for it to break it up. Otherwise, it just looked like it took the nicely formatted email and put it as one block of text. So what that looks like is this. So the AI generated email field type is rich text. So that's an important step. And what that looks like, and I would, clean this up, of course. This was just a proof of concept, but it puts in the AI generated email there. and then it'll send it off, and people will get hyper personalized. So take this very simple example. Imagine creating a really great prompt that you can fill in. I mean, GPT-4 has such a large context window. You could fill it in with any number of information, like information about email examples that you like, or email examples of different types of industries that you serve, or all that stuff. I just needed to get this working. I needed to get the text. I got stopped on the prompting because the text wasn't working, but it's all working now. So I'm going to go back and really dial this in and maybe try using an assistant if I can. I don't know if I can with Zapier. So I hope this is informative. Just want to kind of show you how it works. Just a real quick overview again, and they fill out a form, fill out some properties in the form. It goes to their contact record, and it has their message and all that other stuff that you filled in. And then it goes to the your workflow, where it sends off a webhook. That webhook goes to Zapier. It receives the information. It classifies the text as to what kind of a request it is. If it's the right kind, then it goes to ChatGPT and writes the email. It updates the HubSpot contact. And then the next step in your workflow would be for it to actually send the email and then do whatever other magic you want to do to assign people, or maybe send it off to a new platform to make the call for you, which I'm currently testing out as well. So all kinds of magical HubSpot stuff. So HubSpot, Zapier, ChatGPT, making some magic. I hope this was helpful. I spent a lot of time trying to get this to work, and I wanted to help save some time for anybody else. And so thanks. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know, tear it apart. I'm sure there's criticisms, but hope this is helpful, and keep on doing your magic marketing work.